My name is Jim, and today I'm going to be talking to you about beer. Who likes beer? So I thought. In fact, it is actually the third most popular drink in the world after water and tea. It would be second if you're just counting manufactured drinks, because water is hopefully natural. Okay. The three main focuses of my speech today are going to be the origins of beer, the beginning of beer as a business, and beer today. The oldest found records of beer in terms of just consumption date back to 6000 BC in ancient Mesopotamia and Sumeria. The oldest recipe now in demand is from a Babylonian text, a clay tablet in fact. It's from 43,000 BC, and it is the first recipe ever known of beer. In fact, it's the very first recipe known to man. Beer was actually most likely an accident when it was first developed. It was, as historians believed, just a farmer who had recently cut his barley or wheat, and he had left it out, and water got to it, and through natural chemical reactions, the wheat or barley began to ferment, and a very primitive form of beer was created, which historians say it tasted probably really terrible. Unfortunately, somebody drank that, liked it, and they began to grow more. So they cut their barley or wheat specifically just to soak it in water and let it ferment. As time went on, the practice spread to Europe, where people would add fruits and nuts, honey, psychotropic drugs, pretty much anything that would change the flavor to it. And for those of you who know about beer, I'm sure you're wondering, what about hops? However, these were not added till 822 AD, so they tasted kind of, I'm sure, awful for a while. And when beer started to become a business instead of just a recreational hobby, this first began in the monasteries and convents in Europe. You know, the priests would, in addition to making wine, would make beer. This practice began anywhere between 500 and 1000 AD. It's most likely closer to 1000 AD because of the addition of hops, which made making beer a little bit more stable. The two main countries that like to produce beer the most would be Germany and England. The Germans preferred to make beer at colder temperatures by storing them in the caves in the Alps, which would allow the beer to ferment from the bottom up, while the English like to do it in slightly warmer temperatures, such as in a cellar, which would make the beer ferment from the top. According to beerhistory.com, Beck's beer is the oldest beer that is still in production today. It was first made in 1553, which makes it around 450 years old. It hadn't changed much during the Middle Ages from the beginning in terms of the way it was brewed. The only real differences were it became more industrialized, and exact amounts were used in a total recipe. You know, this much hops, this many grains, this much water, versus just kind of a mix and match as was previously done. The first American brewery opened in 1612 in New Amsterdam, which is present-day Manhattan. And although many breweries were created, the oldest one that still exists in America is Pabst Brewing, which, if you like the Pabst, okay, but whatever. And that was created by Jacob Best in Milwaukee in 1844. Now, beer today. Again, the brewing process hasn't changed very much. The only real big differences are that production occurs on a much larger scale. You're talking about millions and millions of products being turned out every year versus, you know, probably several hundred thousands or in the low millions during the Middle Ages. Sanitation has improved. You have less chance of getting Ebola or anything else in your drink as you did back in the Middle Ages due to bad pasteurization. One of the main differences, though, is different ingredients have been added. A lot of novelty beers, they'll introduce cinnamon or other spices, even coffee grounds, as a means for changing the taste. Some Asian and South American brews even involve dead animals, which, don't worry, it's not allowed in the US, so you're not going to pick it up next to your Budweiser on accident. According to Jason Ahlstrom of BeerAdvocate.com, as of 2007, 1,458 breweries produce 6.2 million barrels of beer, and the U.S. brewing industry total is $51 billion. The world's largest combined site brewer is Anheuser-Busch that produces 1.16 billion cases per year. And the world's largest single-site brewery is Coors in Golden, Colorado. It produces 272 million cases per year at a single site. The largest beer drinking countries per capita are Ireland, Germany, and Canada. And I would like to show you a clip. And this is just a relatively small brewery in Jamaica, and I just want to show you how much beer they can put out in a day.
I'm Devon Francis, the brewing manager. My job is essentially to oversee the process that actually takes the raw materials and convert it into Red Stripe beer.
My name is Carl Phillips, and I'm the packaging manager here at Red Stripe. My role basically is to ensure that we produce Red Stripe of the highest quality for our customers in a timely manner.
So yeah, I mean, and this particular factory produces beer for 11 hours a day. So imagine all that beer over a course of 11 hours. I hope that you have learned that brewing beer has become a form of art that took thousands of years to perfect. Not only is it a complicated science, but a multi-billion-dollar industry. I hope you've learned more about beer and the manner in which it is produced.